Wow, I must be on a roll, man. 2 nights in a row. All right, I know I did the, well, today's Monday the 6th of December. And yeah, yesterday I did a video of my vinyl collection of my police collection, all my LPs and my singles. And I was going to stick with the police and maybe go into my CD collection. And it's so easy for me to just switch gears. And so for whatever reason, I decided that I wanted to do a video showcasing my Tears for Fears collection. Yeah, it's Tears for Fears, man. I actually am a big Tears for Fears fan. And I think the first album that I really got into was Sowing the Seeds of Sowing the Seeds. Their third album. But several years later, when they put out Everybody Loves a Happy Ending, that one really blew my mind. I love that album. It's my favorite Tears for Fears album. It's very frustrating that it's not available in any vinyl edition. It was initially pressed by Arista, and but then Arista backed out of the deal, and so there are some rare pressings on vinyl, on red vinyl actually, 2 LP set. I don't know if it's just 12 tracks or if there are those 2 bonus tracks on the UK edition. I think it's probably just the 12 main tracks. Excuse me. But anyway, this music is knocking me out. That's a lie. I'm just exhausted. But anyway, I still want to do the video. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to showcase my CD collection, and then I'm going to show you what I have on vinyl, which there are some nice items in there, but it's certainly not a complete collection. And maybe this is premature because they do have their new album coming out. I forget what it's called, but I actually have two pre-orders in for 2 different copies of this thing. And I'm excited about that too, because I think it's cool. Packaging matters to me, and I think it's cool that they are releasing the album. Not only are they releasing it on, there's different editions of this thing all over the world, and they're releasing different colors, kind of like McCartney 3. You know how he released all these different editions, and there were all kinds of different color vinyl, and maybe you don't know, maybe you don't like McCartney, but see, I like him too. I picked up a couple of different versions of that album, but with their new album, whatever it's called, God, I can't remember what it's called. They are releasing different vinyl versions of it, but at least some of them, if not all of them, are going to include a 7-inch single with 2 extra tracks. I believe 2 extra, unless it's going to be an EP with 3 tracks or 4 tracks. I believe there are 3 extra tracks available on the special CD version, which I guess I might have to get my hands on. But at any rate, let's get into this. It is basically chronological, and again, I am just showing you what I have because I am no expert on this band. I do like a lot of what they do. Some things I don't really like at all, quite frankly, and well, we won't even get into that until I get there, I guess. But the first thing that I'm going to show you is something that I burned to CDR, because I only learned about the fact that these guys were in a band called Graduate. Their first album was called Acting My Age. This is pre Tears for Fears. And when I learned about this, I checked out what was online, and I was listening to some of it, and I really liked some of it. So I ended up burning a whole bunch of tracks to CDR. This thing, I believe it contains all the tracks that they've released. There's 19 tracks on here, all right, and the album was originally released back in 1980, I think it is. It was actually released, and it was released in either Australia or New Zealand, or maybe both of those territories. And I don't even know if it was released in America, I'll be honest. But there were a couple of songs that I liked so much, but I didn't like the way it was they were edited. There were two songs that I messed with, or was it just one? Looks like it was just one. Called Premature Baby. Man, I like that song. It was so cool and kind of a funk to it. But I ended up re-editing the whole song, and I ended up with this extended version, a totally re-edited version that's about 5.5 minutes long. All right, so but this is I believe this is everything that they released, maybe some non-album singles and stuff. And Graduate, Acting My Age. So that is at least one version of their album covers, I believe. And kind of fuzzy, I guess. Here. There. Acting My Age. So here. So here is the track listing on my stupid CDR, if you want to check it out. And I really packed it in here. It was about 78 minutes, and 77.5 minutes. So, and a CDR holds about 80 minutes, if you're lucky. Oh, this is different. I actually made two different booklets. This is a different, I used a different cover. Look at this. I have some real serious OCD issues because, or maybe I don't know what the hell my problem is. But anyway, this is what I burned. I mean, this is what I created. These are the two booklets that I created for this thing. And, but the important thing is the track listing. For me, anyway. I always like to have that available so I can see where it's at and see what's coming up. And I'll be honest, I have not played this any time recently. I used to play it a lot back in 2014. It was right after I burned this thing. Yeah, the original release came out in 1980, but then back in 2001, Sanctuary released some. They re-released some of the material, if not all of it. They re-released a lot of it. But anyway, so there it is. Not The Graduate. They were called Graduate or Graduate. 19 tracks, and some of it is really good stuff. But my favorite was Premature Baby. There was just such a cool vibe, a cool funk beat to that, and I really liked it a lot. And but I didn't like the edit, so I re-edited it. When you can do those kinds of things, you do them, I guess. All right, so here is The Hurting. This is their first proper Tears for Fears album. This was this is kind of an early deluxe edition. Yeah, deluxe expanded edition. And here you go. And this was put out in they packaged this, Universal packaged this and put it out in 2013. Actually, it's on Mercury Records, it looks like. So, but anyway, this has the original album on the first disc, and then it's got some B-sides and a bunch of remixes, including some 7-inch edits and instrumental mixes. Change was the song that I really liked off this album. And in fact, way back when I was a lot younger, I picked up the 12-inch single, Change, and it had 2 different versions on it. And man, I thought that was a really great release, man. I think that Change is just such a powerful song. Look at how young these guys are. Look at how young these 2 guys are. But anyway, it's a 2 CD set. I think they've since released an even larger deluxe version. I could be mistaken. Maybe they did that with their second album. That would be this one, the deluxe edition of Songs from the Big Chair. The Big Chair. So here's that deluxe edition. And wow, yeah, this was, talk about expanded. So what they did was they put the original album on the first. There's 2 discs, all right. They put the original album on the first disc, and then they added a bunch of B-sides. I think that was a good idea, man. Take advantage of the space. And then they have the 7-inch singles and the 12-inch singles, and I think that was a really good way to do this, because a lot of the album versions would segue from one to the next. And a lot of the 7-inch versions, which would be the edits that you would hear probably on the radio. A lot of people are going to have wanted those. And of course, then they have 12-inch singles that where they extend the mixes, and sometimes obnoxiously. But and I have to admit that the very first song on the album, Shout, is definitely not my favorite album. It is not a song that I really like. I don't really like it. So, you know, no apologies. I'm just telling you, it's not my thing, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. Shout. But I do like the other hits on this album. Everybody Wants to Rule the World, I think, is great. Head Over Heels is great. And in fact, I really like to have the 7-inch versions of those songs. And the individual, I like those songs as individual tracks without them segueing into the next tune, or maybe it segues into it from another song. I like having them separate, and they're great. They're great tunes. And I find it interesting that they did a Robert Wyatt song, Sea Song. I think that's very, very cool. That these guys, you know, had the urge to to cover a Robert Wyatt tune. I think that's pretty wild, man. And it shows a real maturity on their part in terms of musical taste. You know, a lot of people, they think Tears for Fears and they just think it's just some little goofy pop group or two goofy guys doing pop music, and it's not that at all. These guys are really, really talented. I knew that for sure when I heard Everybody Loves a Happy Ending, because that album is like a psych pop masterpiece. It is so brilliant. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of this. And their third album, Sowing the Seeds. The Seeds of Love. I'm not even calling it the right title. Tears for Fears, The Seeds of Love. So, but it's that title track, Sowing the Seeds of Love, that I really like. And there's other great tunes on here too, for sure. But Sowing the Seeds of Love is such a great song. Such a like a Beatles tune from '67, for God's sake. It's just, it's perfect to me. It's a perfect song. And this is one of the later editions of the album, of the CD, that contains 4 extra tracks: Tears Roll Down, Always in the Past, Music for Tables, and Johnny Panic and the Bible of Dreams, some B-sides. And yeah, I've had this for a long time, actually. So, here is, got a bunch of CD singles from that particular album. What the hell is, there's no doubt in my mind, somebody went through my singles, or somebody went through my CDs. Sometimes I have people over and they'll sleep here, and there's no doubt somebody went through these things and then put stuff back, and it's not where it's supposed to be or how it's supposed to be. How strange that is when I find that. But anyway, I think this is actually a domestic CD single. It's only a card sleeve. Woman in Chains, and it's got some B-sides: Always in the Past, My Life in the Suicide Ranks, and the instrumental version of Woman in Chains. And I found this all screwed up. How strange that is. But anyway, yeah, here is a British import. And this is Woman in Chains with Bad Man's Song and Ghost Papa. Okay. With Oleta Adams. Boy, beautiful. What a voice. Whew. Amazing. Advice for the Young at Heart. Another CD single from England. And this has Johnny Panic and the Bible of Dreams, Music for Tables. And then it's got the instrumental version of Johnny Panic and the Bible of Dreams. So, this is cool. And it actually looks like a gold CD single, but I don't know if it's actually a gold single. All right, but it's good. Here's Famous Last Words, another CD single, and what I like about this CD single is one of the B-sides there's the song, there's two B-sides on here. There's Mother's Talk, which was a U.S. remix. Bob Clearmountain remixed it, as a matter of fact. Good old Bob. And there is another track on here called Listen. And that is a track that is on the second album. But the song, one of the songs on that album segues into this song, Listen. And I believe you can only get a copy, you can only get Listen without the segue only on this CD single. I believe that's true. So, and I just think that's a really beautiful piece of music. And it stands on its own perfectly. It's beautiful. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Good to have. All right, and now Kurt Smith left, or these the two guys split up somehow, and oh my God, I'm absolutely forgetting the guy's name. That's hard to believe. I'm a big Kurt Smith fan because I think the guy plays great bass, and I love the guy's voice, but I like Roland Orzabal. I mean, he's a brilliant songwriter, no doubt about it, because there's a good chunk of the material that Roland wrote without Kurt, and he kept the name Tears for Fears, and it's really good stuff. But Kurt Smith, damn good songwriter too. I mean, these two guys, man, I could not. If you're gonna choose your favorite, how do you do that? Because they were both really, really, really good songwriters. I mean, these guys are great. So anyway, Elemental. This was the fourth album under the Tears for Fears moniker, and but it's just Roland. And I have listened to this. I remember when I first got it, and I listened to it, and I really liked it. But I got a lot of music, so what happens is I'll get distracted and I'll just move on to something else. But this I thought was a really good record. This is just a domestic copy of the album. Yep, and Break It Down Again is a CD single. This is just a promotional copy of the CD, promotional disc. And you know, back in the early 90s, in the 80s and the 90s, you know, these kinds of things, man, they pressed up a zillion of them. So you could find these in like the bargain bin at your CD shop. So this was a couple of bucks. It's the album version and the edit. So now, when this album came out, see, this is one of those albums that is just amazing. and Roland, when did he release this? Because that was 93, I think. $1995, is it? Yeah, 1995. This came out. Raul and the Kings of Spain. I was gonna call him Raul Orzabal. I knew that was the name of the album. Roland is the guy's name, but for God's sake, this is a really great album, and tons of B-sides from this album. Let's go through them all. Here's okay. Now, there was a special edition, like a deluxe package of Raul and the Kings of Spain, and it was in a box like this, and it had a little seal. You had to break the seal. It's like a cigar box. But what I did was, and I do this a lot, I went on online, mostly YouTube, and found all kinds of cool, like, well, what I did was I put B-sides on this disc and TV appearances that I found on YouTube. Maybe there were radio shows or TV appearances, TV shows. Like he did God's Mistake on The Tonight Show. He did Woman in Chains on some French television show. Woman in Chains, Sowing the Seeds of Love, and Raul and the Kings of Spain on French TV. And I have like a whole bunch of stuff here. Here, I'll show you what I put in the booklet. So, all right, so you can check that out if you want. And I ended up getting about 60 minutes worth of material. The CD single B-sides and 1, 2, 3, like 6 different TV appearances, and I put them all together on this disc just to compile them on one disc. So if I wanted to, and if I was going somewhere in my car, I could just grab this disc and listen to all the B-sides and this other material that I captured. But here are the CD singles. Raul and the Kings of Spain. This has Creep Live and the Madness of Roland. Roland's Madness. Here is God's Mistake, one version of it. It's got Raul and the Kings of Spain, the acoustic radio performance, and Break It Down Again, another acoustic performance. Here's another one. But this has Until I Drown and War of Attrition. I think they were both non-album B-sides. Same exact cover, basically. But 2 different B-sides. Raul and the Kings of Spain. And Queen of Compromise and All of the Angels. I believe both of those are non-album tracks. Yeah, 2 brand new songs. This came out before this. So, and then I just picked this up today, and this is on Cherry Pop Records, which is a division of Cherry Red Records. This is really just a collection. It's the album, and then most of the B-sides that were released. In fact, maybe all of those B-sides that were released. Maybe it's missing 1 or 2. All on one disc. So I just picked it up today. Very inexpensive. But I wanted all that material on one disc, so there it is. All right, then they put this compilation out, Saturnine, Marshall, and Lunatic. And this has a bunch of B-sides. Yeah, this is actually, I think that this is actually an import, a British import. I think, yeah, I think there might be a few other tracks on here as well. I'm not sure. This is one of those albums that, it's a compilation, and I just don't know anything about it really, other than the fact that there's a lot of B-sides on here. And that is one of the things that I state, that, you know, sometimes I don't know what I have. So, and then Rollins released, I guess, his first solo album, although you can consider those last couple of albums were like solo albums, right? Although he did work with some other people. Tomcats Screaming Outside is his, I guess, first proper solo record. And I have to admit, I have not really listened to this that much, so I don't know what's on it. I do not know what's on it. But back in 2004 or 5, Kurt Smith reunited with Roland Orzabal, and they recorded this masterpiece. I swear to God, this is really a fantastic album. And I oftentimes, if I'm going to go somewhere and I want to listen to something that really I just love, this one comes with me a lot. It really is something that needs to be re-released eventually on LP, and I hope that I'm still around when it happens, because it's taken a long time to do it. I've actually communicated with some different outlets about pursuing a vinyl version of this, and of course, you know, that falls on deaf ears. I think a lot of times they're polite and they say, well, thank you for writing, you know, but you know, what are you going to do? Anyway, this is beautiful. This is a UK import release. My version is, and it contains 2 extra tracks, Pulling a Cloud and Out of Control. But it has, this is one of the best collections of music by any band that I've ever heard, quite frankly. Everybody Loves a Happy Ending. The title track is the very first thing that opens the album. Closest Thing to Heaven, beautiful. Call Me Mellow, beautiful. Sighs of Sorrow, wow, amazing piece of music. Who Killed Tangerine, like a nice psychedelic treat for the ears, for sure. Quiet Ones, I'm not even sure what Quiet Ones is, but if I heard it, I would know it. Who You Are, that one escapes me too. I don't know the title. The Devil, that escapes me too. But Secret World is great. Killing with Kindness is fantastic. One of the best songs on the album. Lady Bird, great. And The Last Days on Earth, great. And then the last 2 songs are great too. And what I'd like to see somebody do, if they would get the license for this and remaster it for from the analog tapes for vinyl, that'd be great. If this was a two LP set with a single with Pulling the Cloud and Out of Control, and if there's any unreleased outtakes, I'm on board for that too. That would be sweet, man. But this is a great album. It's their best, in my book, this is their best album. It's one of the best albums by any band as far as I'm concerned. It's a really great record. And I know that there are complaints about the mastering on here. Of course, the loudness wars. I guess this suffers from those loudness wars from the mid-2000s, because this came out in 2004 or 2005. But my ears are so shot by years of cymbal smashing that it doesn't affect me. So I can listen to this all the time. And I often do. I love this album. And this comes in that slipcase. So here's what the actual cover looks like. You know, here's the slipcase with that, a lot more white in there. But this is just a beautiful package and a beautiful collection of music. But they need to release it on album, on LP, so I can put it on my turntable and crank it up. I want to hear that one day. Yeah, this is amazing. A definite psychedelic pop masterpiece. That's what I call it. And I call it that because that's what it is. All right, so now, of course, they put out a couple of singles, Closest Thing to Heaven. But these singles here, this is a UR Radio, what the hell is that? Oh, UR Radio mix. Then there's the Brothers in Rhythm Group Therapy remix, which is 8 minutes and 15 seconds long. The Solasso Club mix, which is 5 minutes and 49 seconds. The Brothers in Rhythm Group Therapy dub, and the Solasso dub. So you get all kinds of stuff on here, but nothing beats the original track that's on the album. That's really great. Really great song. And then here is another compilation that I put together. I called it Everybody Loves a Little Extra. So, and it's true. And this is just like what I did with Raul and the Kings of Spain. I went online and I found a whole bunch of acoustic, like live versions of these songs. Radio programs. Secret World, Breakfast with the Arts. And there were a couple of other odd tracks on here. That's right. Oh, wow. Yeah, there are a couple of odd tracks that were on some compilation records. Yeah, there's all kinds of like stuff on here. I shouldn't be showing you that. You shouldn't be doing that anyway. You should be downloading somebody else's intellectual property. And here is Tears for Fears Gold. This is a compilation. And this contains Floating Down the River, once again, and Mad World Live. There are a couple of there are a few B-sides and some odd edits or kind of like unique edits. They're not album tracks, like Mother's Talk, the US remix is on here. Laid So Low, which was a B-side. I believe that was a B-side. Or maybe it was on a compilation. But I picked this up because there were a couple of tracks on here that, because it was, you know, what happened was I started buying all the Tears for Fears stuff that I didn't have after I picked up that Everybody Loves a Happy Ending. After I bought that album and I heard what was on that album, I said, I got to get everything by these guys because this stuff's really good stuff. And that was when it was after that album I picked up Raul and the King of Spain, and I said, wow, this is good too. So, but anyway, just a compilation, a double disc set with some odd tracks on it. Another compilation, the Ultimate Collection. And what I did was, you know, a lot of record companies, especially in the 2000s, I guess what happened was, you know, because people were able to burn CDRs and stuff was so easy to steal. A lot of compilations came out, and what they would do was they would say, hey, this one has a bonus CD, and with different like extended edits and stuff, the long version of, and the extended edit of, and the US remix of. So, and then there's some other odd tracks on here as well. So I picked this up because it was a 3 CD set. It wasn't even all that expensive. It was relatively inexpensive. And this was actually released before that other compilation. This was released back in 2003, I think it was. It is, yeah, 2003. Universal. This came out later. It came out because it's got tracks from Everybody Loves a Happy Ending, so. All right. Let's put this back in here. 3-disc set. And then what I have here are a bunch of Kurt Smith releases. Mayfield, I believe this is the first thing that he put out as a solo artist. And for the life of me, I cannot. Yeah, no copyright date on here, huh? Tell you what, man, when I started trying to collect Kurt Smith's material, I was finding it difficult to find. It's a strange way to state that, but it was hard to find this material. But find it I did. All right, I don't know, I don't have a date for this. This is what the CD looks like, and there's the back of the little booklet that's in here. I like this guy. I think he's great. I think both of these guys are great, and I like to think that they get along really well with each other, but you never know. I mean, they're still putting music out together. Thank God for that. I think that's wonderful. Anyway, Kurt Smith, Mayfield. And then Soul on Board. It's actually a Japanese copy, a Japanese pressing of Soul on Board. I don't believe there are any extra tracks. It's got 10 tracks. If you want to check that out. That might be hard to read. And it really sucks because sometimes I I don't see it focusing. So, soul on board, calling out, beautiful to me, wonder child, words, I will be there, no one knows your name, rain, come the revolution, and still in love with you. Okay, there you go. On Vertigo in Japan. 10 tracks. Here is Kurt Smith, Aeroplane. I was trying to find the album version of this. There's a couple of different versions of this. This is like a mini LP or an EP or whatever. I could not find the longer version of this album. So this has Aeroplane, Pale Shelter, Where Do I Go, Snow Hill, the remix of Snow Hill, Reach Out, a remix of Reach Out, and then Everybody Wants to Rule the World. It's a live acoustic version of Everybody Wants to Rule the World. But there is another version of this CD. It's actually the same name, but it's got more tracks on it, and I could not find it. So I did pick this up anyway. Here's Halfway Pleased, which is such a strange title. Here, I'm going to pull this out real quick so I can see it better. Halfway Pleased. It's halfway, comma, pleased. I don't understand that title. I was listening to this a while ago, probably about 3 or 4 months ago. I think I pulled this out and I wanted to listen to it. And so I did. And what I found on here surprised me, because I found here. It's funny because there's a song called Aeroplane on here. I think it was this album that I was playing that surprised me. Oh, I'm not sure now, but this, I remember playing this at one point, and I liked what I was hearing, man. It was really cool. It was good. It was good material, what I was hearing, man. Neither of these guys, even when they're on their own, neither of these guys are slouches. Raul's great. Kurt Smith is excellent as well. Really like what he does. And he's got a lot of solo releases out. Kurt Smith, Deceptively Heavy. I like the cover on this one. This is funny. 2013 this came out. And I don't think that this is like a normal release, or seems like an odd release. I don't know, man. It says some rights reserved. Deceptively Heavy. I don't know. I like these guys. I think they got a sense of humor, both of them. Yeah, it's good stuff. And then and then there's this. See this? I'll never stop. Well, maybe I will. I don't know. This is my 2 CD anthology of Kurt Smith material and some rare Tears for Fears stuff that was not available at the time on CDR. I put this together back in, when did I do this? 2013, was it? Maybe? I compiled this collection of music. And at the time, I think those first couple of albums, the deluxe editions, were not out yet. So I was compiling material that was not on CDR or CD. It wasn't digitally, like on a hard digital disc. And what I did was I just burned it to CDR. So it was convenient for me to play. And this is the 2-disc compilation that I came up with. I don't know where I got this picture from. I think that this was like a single that he released, This Is Christmas. And that was the art for it. So I just used that for the cover because it ended up being the last track on here. But this is all the material that I collated to release. There's CD1 right there and CD2. And I don't even know if this is legible. Hopefully you can freeze it and you can see it. Because this is stuff that you can't look up because I didn't publish this. And, you know, all I did was collected the tracks so that I could listen to them and hear them. And I did play this at least once, but I rarely pull this out because I'm so busy listening to Everybody Loves a Happy Ending, because everybody does love a happy ending. It's a weird thing to think. Who doesn't love a happy ending? You gotta be one miserable son of a bitch if you don't like a happy ending. All right, so anyway, that is my CD collection, including shit that I burned myself. This is my vinyl collection, and I'll go through this rather quickly, I guess. All right, so this is the domestic pressing of The Hurting. Yep. Here's the inner sleeve with the lyrics. I have no idea if this is what the British import might look like. I don't know, because I don't have it. Got Roland and Kurt. A very young Roland and a very young Kurt Smith. All songs by Roland Orzabal and all lyrics copyright control. So yeah, this is really Roland's baby with a lot of help from Kurt on vocals, bass, and keyboards. And of course, Chris Hughes was a good chunk of that. Tune percussion, yeah, cool, man. So anyway, a lot of other guys. Mel Collins on saxophones, that's kind of cool. Oh, God. So, there you go. And here is 12-inch single of Suffer the Children. This is I believe this is the re-release. The other one has like a negative image of this, I believe. Suffer the Children remix, back with Suffer the Children instrumental and Wino. And I wanted to pick this up for Wino because I don't believe it's available anywhere else. I don't even know if it's available on their deluxe edition. It's really weird how some artists, man, they don't embrace their whole catalog. I don't remember seeing it on there. But anyway, but this here, Change. This is one of the first items that I got. Tears for Fears. I got this before I got the album, definitely. And I love this. This includes 2 versions of Change. And that's the song, man. That song just kicks ass. Change, the extended version. Here, let's pull it out. And you will see this thing is as mint as it gets. The cover itself is in beautiful shape. And the album is absolutely mint. I've played this a bunch of times because both versions of Change are really, really cool. Really good, I think. And I don't know, I think this is a great record. Thanks to Chris Hughes, I'm guessing that Chris Hughes had a lot to do with the production. Really good stuff. And the Conflict, that is an odd little tune, but yeah, it's all right, man. It's cool. But this little piece in my collection is a prized part of it. I really like this, and I got memories, and I just think the music's great. And here is a 12-inch of The Way You Are. And what I ended up doing was picking up more 12-inch singles by Tears for Fears, but I would always go back to this one by Change. So this is The Way You Are extended version. The B-side, The Marauders, Start of the Breakdown. Live version recorded at Oxford Apollo in '83. And this is a little bit more, slightly more beat up. Cover is anyway. I don't think the single itself is. Yeah, I didn't take to this as the way that I did to the song Change. I just think Change is such a great tune. So, but the album, this record itself is in great shape, beautiful condition. Cover. There's the back. If you'd like to see these things. Yeah, this vinyl collection is by no means complete, but it is what I have, and that's what I'm showing you. And then Everyone Wants to Rule the World. Extended version. And it's Everyone Wants to Rule the World's extended, and then the flip side is the 7-inch version, and then Pharaohs. Right? You see? Neat little custom label. On Mercury, I believe, right? Yeah, Mercury Records. Right. Mint. Near mint condition, I would say. You know, it's a good thing to remember. Everybody wants to rule the world, because there are a lot of son of a bitches out there that do. You know? Just because Stalin and Hitler are gone, it doesn't mean that there aren't people out there with some bad intentions, so keep it in mind. And then here's Head Over Heels, the Preacher mix. Here's the record. Right. Another great mint piece. So it's broken, head over heels, and broken. And then the B-side is Head Over Heels, 7-inch remix version, and Went in Love with a Blind Man. All right. From that second album. And no, you're not going to find a version of Shout in my collection on a single, because it's just not a song that appeals to me. It does not appeal to me at all. It totally escapes me how that became a humongous hit. All right, but I like so much of their other material, and don't even have I thought I had the second album on LP. I'm not seeing it here. How about that? I might have to pick up a copy of it. Here is this is a re-release of their third album. It's a gatefold, so you don't have any inner sleeve. That's the inner sleeve on the original release. And get off my record. It's clinging to my album. But anyway, there's that beautiful Fontana label. And this blue inner sleeve is what came with this. It wasn't lined, so I put a liner in there and just glued it in place. So that's so that my album is protected. You can't keep it from the dust though, I guess, that's for sure. What a beautiful album cover. I love this. And the music inside of it. This is a really good album. This whole album is really good. It's a great record. And then here is Tears for Fears Rule the World. I was in Barnes & Noble and I saw this and I said, I'm gonna buy this. There are a couple of non-album or otherwise unavailable tracks. I think I Love You But I'm Lost is one of them. And maybe Stay is the other one, I guess. Yeah, must be. Stay and I Love You But I'm Lost. A French pressing, made in France. How about that? On Virgin Records, which I find interesting. I was glad to get my hands on this just to get Closest Thing to Heaven on an album. They got to release that album. They got to get, somebody's got to get down to business and put that out. Very, very, very plain label. No song titles or nothing. Just this is side A, and you look at the cover if you want to know what songs are on side A. And there's side B and side C and side D. They look kind of like the same, but with different letters. Wouldn't you know? And for those of you who don't have the compilation, this is what's on the inside. Maturing and having a good laugh. Thank God. This is nice to have, man. If you want all their material, there's 2 songs on here that you can't get. I don't think you can get those 2 tracks anywhere else, so there you go. I still have a few things. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. This is a 10-inch single. I believe it's the 7-inch version. This is what you would have heard on the radio, basically, this version. And then Pharaohs is on the B side. Right? And then I picked this up about 2 years ago. Ready, boys or girls? Ready, boys and girls? What a beautiful cover. Jesus, look at that. So side A, My Girls, and side B, Ready to Start, and I Was a Boy from School. So 3 tracks, a 3-track EP, 10-inch EP. And this is a really beautiful release. It didn't come with this inner sleeve. That I supplied this for myself because it's a lined inner sleeve. And here is My Girls. And here's the B-side with those two tracks. So it's a nice, beautiful white vinyl record. This was made in the USA. I believe that this might have been a Record Store Day release. I think it was. But 3 songs. I don't believe these are available anywhere else, but I could be wrong about that. I don't know. And if they aren't available anywhere else right now, they'll probably be available somewhere else soon. But I don't think that they're on the new album. So maybe this is a one-off, this EP. But beautiful. Beautiful. Picture sleeve. Good God. Really nice. And then just a couple of more singles, man. Here is promotional single for Head Over Heels. The live version of Head Over Heels is on both sides of this, so and here is a 2-track or a 2-disc set, I believe. And the B-side of that first record is Sea Song with that's Robert Wyatt's composition. And then record 2, side 1 is I Believe. Well, the first, I guess on the record 1 is I Believe, a soulful re-recording, and then record 2 is I Believe. And the B-side of that single is Shout, the dub version. Maybe that's listenable. I don't know. There you go. Here, what's the... It's another letter from Roland. Dear Dad, you are a worm. Oh, man. I didn't expect that. So that's it, man. That's my whole collection of music by Tears for Fears, including their very first gig together in Graduate, and their solo releases. Obviously, Kurt Smith was very busy, and he was putting out a lot of really good music. So, and I really like these guys. All right, man. That is an hour and 14 minutes just about. So I am done here. Have a great day. See you next time.